Just to let you know, there is a football game going on Sunday, right? Super Bowl in this town. Also, there's this huge golf tournament going on in this town. Huge. It's on TV. Kyle and Peyton were at the golf tournament yesterday. Rich and I were at Super Bowl stuff yesterday. But then, I wake up this morning because my son plays basketball in Hawaii for college. I wake up this morning from a text that he sent me at 1 a.m. And he's like, Kevin Durant is going to the Phoenix Suns, which is big news in the basketball world, following the LeBron James news.
And the Kyrie Irving leaving Brooklyn as well.
Yes. So, and Peyton, how did the Kevin Durant news hit you?
So I was sleeping peacefully, full on knocked out, and my boyfriend walks in and he's like, "Hey babe, wake up. I have something to tell you. It's really important. Like I need to tell you this now before you wake up." And I kind of wake up. I'm like, somebody died. And he's like, Kevin Durant got traded to the Suns. I was like, okay, dude, let me go back to sleep. That's great news, but don't ever come in here and wake me up dead in my sleep at 1 a.m. You scared the crap out of me, dude. I really thought somebody died.
That's one of those.
What other reason would you have to wake someone up?
Kevin Durant going to the Suns.
And he wanted to be the first to tell you, though. He wanted to be the newsbreaker.
He wanted to be the newsbreaker because Kadeem and my cousins have this whole ongoing feud. He's a Trailblazers fan. They're diehard Suns fans. And they're like, months ago, they were like, Katie's coming to the Suns. Katie's coming to the Suns. They put money on it, this bet, back in May. And now Katie's back to the Suns. So he lost his bet. He's got to pay out.
Well, that is big news in the basketball world. But now, how about the golf world? What was it like yesterday for you guys at the golf tournament? What celebrities did you see?
Oh, well, it was interesting because yesterday was the first sort of official day, but not the official day of the tournament. It was like the Pro-Am, which is where you have pro golfers and they play with a celebrity. And then I think some people that pay to play with them. So I was like, today's the day to go. We're going to see everyone. And up on the list of celebrities that were going to be golfing with the pros was A-Rod, Reggie Bush, Jason Aldean, there was JJ Watt. There was a whole bunch of people. And so I was like, this is really cool. But it's golf, right? So there's 18 holes spread out on this giant course, and it's questionable whether or not you'll see any of them. Plus, because the Super Bowl is in town, there should be a lot of celebrities, right? So I'm like, yeah, you know what? They're just going to be walking around. They're going to be everywhere. So they weren't really everywhere. But when Peyton and I got there and we walked into the Open, we walked right up to, it was what we found out was the 18th hole, where at the very end of the 18th hole. And we asked one of the volunteers working there. He was the one with the quiet please sign. We're like, excuse me, who's this? Who's playing right now? It's we didn't recognize anyone. And he said some name that we didn't even recognize. He goes, but I think A-Rod's up next. And we were like, sweet. So we're going to park it right here and just wait and see what we can see. Because obviously, A-Rod was with J-Lo for years. They were engaged. We got to see him, especially if we're in the spot that he's about to be in. So we wait a while, we're chatting, and all of a sudden, a couple of balls fly onto the green. They're on the putting green, and we're like, is that him? In the distance, we're trying to see if it's him. And sure enough, it's A-Rod walking up. I'm like, Peyton, you got to say something. You got to say something, right?
You're making Peyton do it.
Not necessarily while he's putting, because that's in the golf world, that's rude. You'll get kicked out for that. That's why they have the quiet please guy, right? And Peyton's like, I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm like, just do it. And Peyton's like, I'm doing it.
I'm so nervous.
She's so fearless, though. It was fantastic. So gets to the point where he gets done putting, right? And he kind of looks, and there's all these fans. Out of anyone there, I think it was A-Rod was swarmed by people. People were literally going underneath the ropes to try to get him to sign stuff and high five him. And then there's Peyton on the side, and she's just goes for it. Yeah! I was like, that's gotta get his attention, right? No. Either we were way just too far away, there were just too many people screaming, or he's such a pro that he heard it and just decided to keep walking.
That's what he did. He heard it because you can't ignore
so
Peyton.
My voice projects. He heard me for sure. And I was like, yeah, he like kind of stumbled over a step. Yeah, I had him shook in his boots right there.
That's so
Literally,
good.
like, John Jay, we were this far from each other,
Right.
and I screamed it. He
That's so
heard
good.
me.
It's like, Peyton's the best.
You got to make a reel or whatever you call that so you can see the words as he's
Oh,
because
like
I've
with
seen the
the
video.
captions?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's so good. That's one of those videos I think that could go viral and TMZ could take it because it's so good.
Make us go viral, y'all.
I think he would have had more fun than Ben Affleck.
I think
quite
so.
honestly.
I mean,
He would
the
dance.
memes from that event, and then
So
you have
funny.
then you're with J-Lo's boyfriend the next day. That's so good. Wow.
Yes.
You guys are killers, man. Killers.
Other than that, we didn't get to see Reggie Bush. I didn't see Jason Aldean, but I was like, you know what? I did get to like have a little bit of clout with my husband, who's a big golf fan.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, guess who we saw? We saw Jordan Spieth, and he's like, oh man, that would have been awesome. I was like, ew.
Yeah, the videos. There's a bunch of cool videos on our Instagram, John Jay and Rich. Really cool videos you guys made. They're awesome. I was forwarding them, liking them. They're great stuff. You guys are having fun at the golf tournament. Rich and I were at a Super Bowl thing yesterday, and very similar to your thing, where we were with. I think. I mean, talk about the wrong people. We didn't know anybody. And we were surrounded by NFL players, and I mean they're huge. And I mean I'm 6'4", 240, and these guys are bigger than me, and I know they're all pros. And because we were in this area where they're all being interviewed, so I would see a guy being interviewed, and I go, and then I'd be standing next to him at the urinal, but I don't know who they are, right? And at one point, I was telling my wife this story, and she laughed her ass off at this story. At one point, there was a guy I saw being interviewed. And then Rich and I were done. Like, we left, right? So we were leaving. This is so Barra. We're leaving. We're done. We're walking out of the place. And I go, one of the guys being interviewed is leaving too. And I go, hey, that dude's a football player right there. So just to give you an idea, he looks like Junior Seau, kind of. He's African American, whatever. And he's got tattoos on his neck.
Dressed super cool.
Really cool looking dude. And I saw him being interviewed by a lot of people, and he's literally walking out with us. And he starts to make a phone call, and he's got the earpiece in. And I go, that guy's a football player. And Rich looks over at him and goes, oh, hey. Like if Rich knows him. So Rich walks over to him, and Rich goes, hey. And the guy looks at him and goes, hey, man. And Rich goes, like Rich is walking over to him as if he knows him. And the guy's looking at Rich kind of confused. And the guy says, he's got his finger on his ear and kind of goes, like, hey, I got to make this call. And then the guy looks at me, and Rich is doing this thing where he's like, I'm about to introduce you to my friend. And the guy looks at me. And so the guy reaches out to shake my hand. And I go, how you doing? John Jay. And he goes, Sean. And I go, hey, Sean. And then the guy looks at Rich and goes, I got to make this call. I'm on this call right now. Is that okay? And the guy goes, yeah, sure. And the guy turns around. And I look at Rich and I go, who is that? And he goes, I don't know who that is. And I'm like, what? I go, the guy came over, and Rich is as the guy's walking away, he goes, nice sweater. Rich goes to the guy. And then I later I'm talking to my son Kemp, and I go, hey, there was this big black guy, tattoos around his neck, and his name is Sean, plays in the NFL. I go, who is he? He goes, you literally just described 20 guys.
There's probably more than one Sean.
And I go,
They got their helmets on most of the time. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
I go, he's pretty famous. I go, he's doing a lot of interviews.
Sean.
But I saw you ran into Gronk. Too,
Yeah, I ran into
right?
Gronk. That's the one guy we knew.
Yeah.
I know him. He's on every commercial.
Yeah, for sure.
I know him because of TV commercials. Oh, and I know him because of Tom Brady's Instagram.
Exactly. Right?
Like, what's good is all the security guys know who we are because they look at like we're not supposed to be there. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's true.
And all the sports radio guys knew who we were.
Yeah, we were there taking pictures with selfies with other radio people. they wanted to take pictures with us. We're like, hey, man, sure, no problem.
Forget
Man, my
the
kid
NFL
listens to your
players.
show. That's what we heard more than anything. My kid listens to your show. Can I get a picture?
And then I was like, all right, good, we did it. We don't have to go back. Then we find out now we have to go back again today. Now, the only reason I was telling Rich we should go back today is because I heard a rumor that maybe Hugh Jackman was going to be there.
Oh, heck yeah.
We'll
I
recognize
don't care
you.
about Patrick
go.
Mahomes. I want to meet Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman's going to be there?
I know.
Yeah,
We've
you gotta
already
go.
met him, too.